First of all, I'd like to thank all the representatives from different communities, okay, for showing up, showing their support for the city of Rensselaer. I'd like to lead the list if I can. Senator Neil Breslin, Assemblyman John McDonald, Assemblywoman Pat Fahey, Albany Council President Carolyn McLaughlin, Albany Common Council Member Ron Bailey, Albany County Sheriff Craig Apple. Lou Ramelia has had an important meeting he couldn't show, but Peter Ryan, Deputy Mayor of Troy, has shown up. Former Senator Roy McDonald, former Assemblyman Jack McEnany, former Assemblyman Bob Riley, the Chairman of the Washington County Board of Supervisors James Lindsay, Deputy Chair of the Columbia County Board of Supervisors Matt Morrell, Mark Robinson, a councilperson from the City of Albany, Mayor Primo from Cohoes, and Mike Stammel, our legislator in the county. This is a turning point for the city of Rensselaer. This is the catalyst for the Hudson River development. A beautiful Hard Rock casino. The one thing that has to be remembered is Hard Rock being here will generate, like Jim Allen said, $38 to $40 million more than any other casino in the area. And what that relates to the state is the state gets 40% of that money. That's gross money. So the state benefits more by having it here. Number two, MGM Grand is putting an $800 million project over in Springfield. The only casino that can compete is Hard Rock to keep the people in the city of Albany and the whole capital district here. It's the name alone that's going to generate so much revenue for us and for the state, for the counties. We've got 11 counties, actually 12 now, who are going to benefit, who are supporting us completely. And 19 counties will benefit through OTB being involved in this. So it's a no-win situation. It's a no-lose situation for the city of Rensselaer and for the state and everybody else. With that, I'll turn it over to Senator Breslin.
Thank you, Mayor Dwyer. I think Mayor Dwyer's outlined it. We're coming down to the finish line. And that finish line, we should talk about what it means to the city of Rensselaer. I have not heard one voice in opposition. The city of Rensselaer is totally behind it. We have a shovel-ready site, ready to go. We have Hard Rock Cafe, the best at what it does. We have a train station which we're in, which is a block away. We have the water to our left. It is a perfect combination. A perfect combination, and that's why all of the elected officials behind me are supporting this project. This is the project that's a winner. And I believe that Mayor Dwyer and his team have done everything possible to present the best picture for a casino here in Rensselaer. And with that, I turn it over to my fellow legislator, my dear friend, Assemblyman John McDonald. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Neil, and good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today with representatives throughout the capital region. And as Mayor Dwyer so aptly stated, it is the finish line. It is time for this proposals to come to fruition. And we all believe collectively that the Rensselaer City Plan is the best plan throughout the capital region. It's interesting, we talk about the money, we talk about the shared revenues. And putting on my former mayor's hat, we also talk about shared services. The communities that I'm honored to represent here in 108th Assembly District includes 5 cities, Cohoes and Waterville, but also the cities of Rensselaer, Troy, and Albany. And if you look at those cities, it's no secret. that there are challenges. But with those challenges, there is also opportunity. And we believe the Hard Rock is the best opportunity, not only for the city of Rensselaer, but for the communities throughout the capital region. We look at the amount of tax-exempt property, and in order, Rensselaer, Albany, and Troy have the dubious distinction of being 1, 4, and 5 in the state of New York, and therefore limited opportunity for economic development. Fortunately, Mayor Dwyer, through his leadership and his collaboration with all municipal leaders, recognize this is an opportunity that comes very frequently, and an opportunity that we need to put our best foot forward. I'm honored also to have with me, besides, of course, the Dean of the Capital Region Delegation, Senator Breslin, I want to recognize my partner who I split the City of Albany with on a daily basis, and that is our Assemblymember Pat Fahey. Pat, thanks for coming over. Pat, myself, and Senator Breslin have a great privilege to work with a new mayor in the City of Albany. A mayor who, as we found out very early in January of this year, had a very strict command and understanding of the financial situation that the City of Albany faced, and has worked collaboratively with not only the delegation at the legislature, but throughout the region to try to make sure that the capital city continues to grow and to survive. And outside of the financial aspect, the other aspect that I find very interesting and important to me, and I think to others, is her rich appreciation for the history and culture of the capital city, or as she so often says, the capital of the world. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you our mayor of the City of Albany, Kathy Sheehan.
Thank you. And I truly am thrilled to be here. This casino site presents tremendous opportunity for the city of Rensselaer and for our entire region. And being literally in the city of Albany's front yard, it also presents significant development opportunity for the city of Albany. And as the city has assessed the different casino proposals and the impacts of a casino on the city of Albany, I have been very consistent in saying that a casino needs to address three concerns for the city of Albany. One, the potential financial impact with increases in city services. Two, the economic development impact, particularly in connection with the convention center that is going in the city of Albany, and what impact a casino would have on that. And third, and probably most importantly, how is it going to impact the residents of the city of Albany, 25% of whom live at or below the poverty level? So connecting our residents to good jobs that will support their families, and a commitment to recruiting residents of the city of Albany from our most underserved communities to work in a casino has been paramount. And I'm pleased to say that Mayor Dwyer and I have reached an agreement that hits on all three of those very important criteria for locating a casino in close proximity to the city of Albany. So if a casino is located here, the city of Rensselaer has committed $1.1 million per year for 10 years to the city of Albany for a total of $11 million. And they have also committed, the casino operators, to working closely with community-based organizations in the city of Albany to recruit residents of the city of Albany for the tremendous job opportunities that will exist here at this casino, and to work with us on economic development opportunities. How do we link and transport people from conventions to the casino and vice versa, from the hotels and from the rich, wonderful cultural institutions and heritage institutions that we have not just in the city of Albany but in this entire region. So I am pleased to say that with that commitment and with that understanding, our Common Council had 3 months ago said that they would support a casino here if those criteria were met. They have been met, and so I'm pleased to say on the behalf of the city of Albany that we too support a casino, the Hard Rock Casino here in the city of Rensselaer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and that is welcome news. And yes, revenue, as I mentioned earlier, it has been mentioned already, is important. Economic opportunity is very important. As we know, we've talked to the council members in the city, whether it's President McLaughlin, members Bailey, members Robinson. But there's another part of the story that still needs to be told, and it's the potential impact on heritage tourism here in our Hudson River Valley, here in our Capital Region area. As many of you know, both Senator Breslin and I had sent a letter recently trying to bring more points to help recognize the Rensselaer City proposal. And the next morning, around 6:30, I get a phone call from Jack McEnany, the former legislator which both Pat Fahey and I have replaced. He says, you know what, I have an idea. There's a great opportunity that we really need to take the opportunity to take advantage of, and we need to do it now, and that's to save the half moon. And he made the suggestion. I made the phone call to the mayor of Rensselaer saying, is there an opportunity to put forth an effort to save the half moon? And sure enough, there has been an effort. There's been an offer to keep the half moon here in the Capital Region where it rightfully belongs. And therefore, I'd like to ask Jack McEnany to come up and speak not only to the half moon, but all the other opportunities that exist. Jack?
Thank you, John. Something is going on here which is much more than the location of a particular facility. This is a threshold that we're on. We realize that there are 3 other competitors in our region, but this is a threshold where we can embrace the cultural tourism and the heritage tourism that is so critical, particularly to the Capital District and certainly to the state of New York. I think many people were shocked at the potential loss of the half moon. None of us would be here were it not for the Hudson River. New York would not be the Empire State were it not for the Erie Canal that opened up our Great West. Our heritage is unique. No one can steal it from us. Nobody can duplicate it cheaply someplace else in the country. We have a waterfront that has been improved extensively over the years, but still has many problems. Most of the potential is here on the Rensselaer side, and I think if I didn't live in Albany, I'd want to look at it, and that means I'd live in Rensselaer, because it's one of the most beautiful views in the state of New York, with the Helderbergs in the background, magnificent architecture in between, and our historic river in the foreground. The Hard Rock Cafe proposal to be right on the river and to provide the other side of the river with the energy and the vitality of cultural tourism will make our new convention center far more attractive and competitive for people. And it will recognize not only our history, but also it will recognize a partnership between these 2 sister cities that goes back to the days when we established the Port of Albany, which is a joint venture from both cities, Albany and Rensselaer. So we think this is an opportunity to provide the public with the best possible location and to take the revenues that will come to the localities and to use them in a way to save the half moon, to enhance the Slater, perhaps to get the Day Peckinpah down here off and on. That's the the last of the great freighters on the Erie Canal, and to recognize our maritime history and our common history between our 2 counties and with this state. So very much appreciate. I can't think of anything where so many people from so many different backgrounds of state and local government, from representing both political parties, those who are active and those who are retired, can come together and speak loudly with the same positive message. Thank you.
Before I introduce our next speaker, I do want to make sure to recognize Peter Ryan, the Deputy Mayor of Troy, who's here on behalf of Lou Rosamilia. And Bob Passanelli, the Economic Development Director here in Rensselaer County, is here on behalf of our County Executive, Kathy Jimino. Our next speaker is somebody who I see quite often during the summertime because we share a similar golf track. But I also get confused for it quite regularly because we share the same last name. Roy McDonald is an institution in the Capital Region. He's an individual who actually grew up in the Burgh, worked in the city of Cohoes, moved waywards north for a little bit, hung out in Milton and Saratoga County for a bit, but came back to represent the people of Rensselaer County. Former Senator Roy McDonald.
Thank you, John. I want to congratulate everybody here for working as a team on behalf of the community of the Capital Region. It's very difficult. There's a lot of competition. It's understandable that it's going to be viewed very closely. I actually hoped that this facility would have went to Saratoga. Naturally, I live there, but the public spoke, and you listen to the public. The facility that you're talking about, I know this area. I think it will do what they've said it will do, and there'll be added bonuses. Anytime anybody gets a job or creates a job, that's a big bonus. The money, the basic financial package going to the county, Rensselaer County, which will eventually go to partially to the individual communities, as well as the money going to the school system. It's more than the other packages, and it's desperately needed. So I thank you for inviting me here. I'm happy to support you. I wish you the best. It's going to be a difficult task, even if you get it awarded to you, but it's positive, and it's going to help our community. And our community is not just one town, one city, one county. It's this whole region of the state, and we need that help. Thank you.
Thank you, Roy. Our next speaker, and I should preface, one of the luxuries that Pat Fahey and I had when we came into the Assembly is we had not only had Dean Senator Breslin to lean on a daily basis, but we have the honor of not only having a Ron Canestrari, who I've talked to my whole political career, but also Jack McEnany stopping in once or twice a day in our offices, and 3 times for Neil. And then this other stranger comes in out of the suburbs. His name is Bob Riley, a guy who hangs out in the farm every once in a while, loves to talk about agriculture, but truly is a rich steward of the history here in the Capital Region. Former Assembly Member Bob Riley.
The image I have of Rensselaer comes from the fact that my father worked in Rensselaer for 30 years, over 30 years, in a textile mill. And for that fact epitomizes for me what the wonderful history of Rensselaer was and what the challenging future is. Now, a sorry image I have of Rensselaer in the future is a casino that is sitting there alone, surrounded by nothing. The type of image we have of the casinos in Atlantic City. And what we're talking about today is quite the opposite of that. A local official said the other day, "I carry water only for the residents in my district." Thankfully, Kathy and Carol, Peter, and all the other elected officials outside the city of Rensselaer do not think that way. And as Jack talked about saving the half moon, I have another image that is always with me in the way that elected officials must think, not in a provincial way. I was down where the half moon is docked, on the dock of the Apple. So we had the Apple there, we had the Slater, we had the half moon, we had a luxury yacht. That's the type of synergy that gets people to come here. I have been working all along the river, whether it's a farmer's market, I'm working with a new multi-million-dollar facility for the Humane Society, working with Siena College that is integrating into those resources, and I could go on and on of all the great things. Like Peter said, the multi-$7 million project that's going on in Troy. So let's get rid of the cynicism of this region and start thinking about the great things that will happen. Finally, I would say, I was thinking about this the other day, and we talk about bringing in people into this region, and we are the crossroads of the Northeast with our rivers and our train station and our airport, from Montreal to Boston to New York City to Buffalo. But let's think about not bringing people in, but if we have all of these collective resources here, people will stay here. And they won't be going to Atlantic City, they won't be going to Reno, they won't be going to Vegas, they won't be going to Mohegan Sun. And that in itself, if we kept our gamblers here, as well as people that want to participate in all the other resources we had, will be doing quite well. So I want to personally thank all of the elected officials from regions, from cities outside of Rensselaer, because they recognize that this is a capital region, actually a statewide project. Thank you very much.
Next is an individual who is no stranger to the city of Albany or the capital region. A person who I've worked with closely the last 2 years in her role as president of the Common Council. A person who has taken the time to share with me the concerns that she has for the people she represents throughout the whole city, particularly in the lower wards of Albany, where we're looking for economic opportunity. That person is our president of the Common Council, Carolyn McLaughlin.
Thank you, Assemblyman. It is indeed a pleasure for me to have the opportunity to stand here and just acknowledge the relationship that we have formed with the city of Rensselaer. I grew up in the city of Albany, and I remember as a child riding my bike over to Rensselaer to visit friends. Now I have the opportunity to drive my car over to Rensselaer. But the important fact here is not only my visiting friends, but with this initiative that we are here supporting today, we have the opportunity to not only support the economic development of Rensselaer, but for the whole Capital District. But for the city, but for the Hudson River, we'd be one city. Rensselaer and Albany would be one city. But what we have the opportunity to do today is to show the Commission that we stand as one city today. We stand as a region that wants to see economic development, as the mayor initiated earlier, see economic development throughout the Capital District. I am so proud to stand here on behalf of the Albany Common Council, along with my colleagues Bailey and Robinson, to know that Mayor Dwyer and Mayor Sheehan came together and saw the wisdom of what the council members talked about for months back here in the spring, that Rensselaer was the best site. We couldn't have it ourselves in Albany, so we felt that this was the best place to do it. And for many reasons, but namely, in addition to what the mayor talked about, we had so many people come forward talking about the hope that they saw as a result of this initiative and this economic development opportunity coming to this region. And with hope comes opportunity to uplift our communities. There are so many jobs that people are looking to stand in line to achieve so that they can build up their families, so that they can pay for the homes, so that they can send their children to college. This is what this means for so many people in our community. So I am excited about this relationship that we have, and I know that it takes everybody that's standing here to make this happen. So I hope and I believe that we are sending the right message to the Commission, that we stand together, believing in our minds and in our hearts that this is the best place to establish this entertainment venue, because that's what I see it. It is not just about a casino. It is about an entertainment venue that is going to attract individuals, not only those who are familiar with casinos, but those who like entertainment, those who like to go out for fine dining. And that dining will not only be enhanced on the Rensselaer side, but it will be enhanced on the Albany side. And we're excited about that. Our entertainment venues over in Albany will get added attractions of people that are coming to the casino, but want to go to the Palace, want to go to our restaurants, want to go to Cap Rep, want to go to our museums. So this is a win-win, as Mayor Dwyer said, for all of us. So I'm so excited, and I say that we are on the brink of success here by the picture that we have presented here today. So I'm so proud to be a part of it. And I hope that as we move forward, this can just be the beginning of other relationships such as this throughout the Capital Region. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Mayor Dwyer and Mayor Sheehan, for coming together and coming up with this agreement that we have before us. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Our last speaker, and then after that, we'll have a few closing remarks, and then we'll open it up for questions, is an individual you might not normally think about to invite to a press conference for casinos. He's our Albany County Sheriff, an individual who you think of the sheriff as a person who arrests and incarcerates, but in fact, he's much more than that. Sheriff Craig Apple.
So what's a sheriff's stake in a casino? Technically, I operate the largest hotel in the Capital District. So I kind of welcome the Hard Rock competition, but unlike the other operators of hotels, I like to have the vacancies. We like to keep the jail cells empty. And how do you do that? You got to revitalize a community. You got to have affordable housing, and you have to have employment. You have to have jobs. In Albany County, we're working on the affordable housing. We've got a land bank in partnership with the city and the county. But we got to still create those jobs. We've got to get people in there. We got to get people employed. We got to keep them out of cells. That's the bottom line. And how do you do that? We've created a partnership. I've been working closely with the people that have been supporting this project from the beginning. I was one of them. And what do we want to do? We want to have a partnership getting up there and creating jobs, keeping people employed, give them job skills. We've got a beautiful Campus South Center right across the river that was just put in millions of dollars of investment to train people, to get that education level going, to give people the opportunity to go out and thrive and not strive. And I firmly believe that this facility right here on the other side of Albany County, I think it's a great thing. I support it. I look forward to working closely to keep people out of our cells and keep them employed. So thank you.
Isn't he great? He's just remarkable. I forgot there's one other person I should have mentioned. I'd like to have him come up and say a few words, and that is the new owner of Huck Finn's Playland, Jeff Sperber.
I should have known when Justin and Patrick and John Signer asked me to take on a role with the Business Alliance. I should have known better than when they said today, can you just come over and support this little presser we're having, that I was just going to be able to stand over there and clap. But I think the most important thing that I have to say this morning is that I am thrilled, just as a lifelong citizen of the region, to see this kind of collaboration, the effort that Mayor Dwyer and Mayor Sheehan, supported by all the hardworking officials of the area that have brought together the unity to support a site that we believe will, and I say we, I mean from the business community, will it revitalize the Capital Region from its core being in the Hudson River. We're very excited about what we have going on across the river, what it's going to mean to families, and it's just going to be very neat if this side of the river has a huge, well-known, well-branded entertainment facility as well to complement. And we see this as just the start of many wonderful things to come to the region. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. I should also mention that unfortunately our County Executive Dan McCoy from Albany County could not be here today as he is out in town on duty, but he passes on his regards and support as well. So there you have it. What a great opportunity for here in the Capital Region, here for the Hudson River communities and throughout the region. We talked about revenue, but we also look at the opportunity to not only share services, to share revenues, but to also build on synergies. We almost forgot to talk a little bit about the excitement with the long-awaited Albany Capitol Center, which, yes, is situated in the city of Albany, but will have far-reaching impacts throughout the Capital Region. The addition of the Hard Rock Casino I see as only two positives, these two playing well and working well with each other. We talked about saving the Half Moon, about giving even greater life to the Slater, to hopefully floating the Day Peckinpah up and down the Hudson River from its resting place up in Waterford. We talked about building on the great historic resources we have that have been in place for decades and are continuing to look to grow and prosper. Maybe it's a visit to historic Cherry Hill in the south end of Albany. Maybe it's a visit to the Ten Brick Mansion in Arbor Hill, a jump over the river to Fort Craylow, a visit to the Watervliet Arsenal, and maybe a restoration of the Watervliet Arsenal Museum. Maybe it's a visit to the Troy Bird and Iron Works. Maybe a Tiffany Glass tour starts to have more people involved, furthering the great redevelopment that's going on in downtown Troy. Maybe it's more visitors to the Cohoes Falls, to the Van Skyke Mansion, or to the Waterford Visitor Center. Those are just a few of the great opportunities that lie before us based on the Gaming Commission's decision that will be coming in the next couple of weeks. On behalf of Mayor Dwyer, I want to thank all those gathered here today, not only for your support today, but throughout this process. We look forward to the announcement coming forward in the next few weeks, knowing that we put our best foot forward, knowing that we're looking to do the best for all the communities throughout the Capital Region.